Hey, what's going on, guys? Carlos Thomas here. I'm with Mark from Motive, and he's been working on me the past few days, giving me some tissue work and working on my mobility as I am 12 days out from the NPC NATIONALs. So we're getting ready to work on my upper body a little bit today. And Mark, we can tell you what we'll be working on as we get started.
Yeah, thanks for coming in, man. I think you're gonna kill it, man. We're hitting today shoulders, a lot of back work, looking at any restrictions we've identified in the shoulders. So talking about how movement reflects also the symmetry and muscle development we're trying to put together with the tool work. So you can probably feel that right off the bat, some of that extension limitation, that right side, which will work there, whether that's kind of the capsule of the shoulder or some of that soft tissue in the front will work through. But first thing we'll probably just, soft tissue wise, I want to just kind of pull the entire muscle system that we're focusing on. What I'll typically like to do is like a depth approach. So, sometimes guys are trying to get as much vascularity, stimulation, blood flow to real deep tissues of the muscle layers. Sometimes you want to get right in, just kill it, search and destroy. But you have all these kind of superficial tissues that we want to see if we can kind of decrease just some of the top layer of tension, kind of mobilize some of these fascial planes. And then we can kind of get down to some of those deeper fibers that may need some attention. Orientation is lat. You said that is this lat been more of a problem area for you?
Yeah, building. Yep, the lats.
So we're just gonna see if we can kind of work some extensibility. So you're gonna start here, okay? Mm-hmm. And then when I say go, I want you to let that arm drop and then actually swing it up through, just to your end. Okay. Right there, good. Pull. Good. All the way up through, deep breath. There it is, good. Relax. Two more here, ready, go. Yep. And you could feel like the big difference between a percussive type of stimulus to the tissue and more of like a gliding, sliding, gliding. Can you feel that grainy kind of sandpapery grit feeling to this? Which is a totally different experience for the tissue here. It's good to have that kind of variety. Like what we're doing now, kind of hitting the meat, so to speak, of the muscle. We'll work on kind of carving out the edges a little bit, and trying to hit some of these kind of deep junction zones where that fascia comes in, and that's really what can, if we can stimulate some cellular activity there and some fibrosis, and see if we can get more of it to pop, look a little more defined. But down through here, just getting your QL to get a little more pop, a little more volume can make that rib cage sit a little bit and the whole trap get a little more aesthetic. And then relax. And again. Good. Hold that right there. See these striations? If I can help embellish these, striations, contractile kind of margins, that's what I'm gonna do, to try and get that more defined, more pop, so basically carving out the muscle rather than going through the meat of it like we might for somebody who's not working on physique. Push that elbow up to the ceiling. Good. give me like a sub-maximal pressure. So just go ahead and, yeah, there and hold.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What is that? Oh my gosh.
So deeper, this is your
Yeah, oh my gosh.
deep fibers of your.
Ooh.
But for you, if there's even a 1% chance that this affects how your shoulder activates when you're doing loaded work in the gym, it's worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference. You
And
know
I
what
could tell
This ain't
yesterday-
about lifting a cup out of a cupboard. It's about
Yeah.
if there's any chance this restriction inhibits the ability for muscles to fire secondary to limitations in
The
mobility
thing
or
is,
something like that.
when I do my side laterals, I can feel the left one activate more than the right too.
Can you? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there you go. You know what I mean? It's that's a big piece.
Yeah, and I could definitely feel. Look at the roundness of it yesterday. I don't know if you can see in the.
You could see it in the
Yeah,
or the
the
picture.
picture,
Yeah.
yeah.
You can have superficial tissues that become tender. They just become sensitized because of imbalances in the mobility of the shoulder, which we've seen. So
Yes.
this is actually more of a product than the actual cause.
Oh, okay.
That's
Got you.
sensitivity of that muscle tissue is more of a product
Got it.
than the driver, which is like a classic amount of posterior capsule tightness, which you would
Right.
feel.
So that's so the feeling that I'm having isn't the issue. It's just a symptom.
Yes. Yeah. It takes everything I got just to get through your terries, man. I'm gonna have iron fingers, man, by the time I'm done.
I tell you one thing, she be working. She does a little massage on me. She got some strong grip.
Yeah,
bro.
man. Get you. Kind of elbow to midline. This is, if you could see this limitation. Now we just release your posterior cuff, all that backside tissue. Now, the freedom of this, I can get you much further. This is crossing the midline of your chin almost.
Yeah, it's like.
And where this just gets a little
And I
hung
can,
up right
and
there.
I can feel like the pulling of it.
Yeah. Oh, not at all. It's kind of common impingement. You could feel like yesterday, we've given your right shoulder so much attention. That is so much better.
Yeah, look at that.
So much cleaner. We just hit your whole right side.
Yeah.
And now you're getting kind of glenohumeral impingement in the shoulder.
I can feel
And a
this.
lot of this is just restriction through
Yeah.
here. So we're gonna see if we can clean that up.
Ooh, wee, baby. Whoa.
The thing is, the more work you get like this, you will start to desensitize to,
Yeah.
and it'll take more of a tissue stimulus. But this early on, you feel
Feeling
every bit
everything.
of it.
Yeah, I'm feeling everything. Sorry. It's not painful.
So
it's
do
just
me a
tight.
favor.
Go ahead.
Here, rotate that thumb up more. It's going to limit how far you can go. Good.
So this is what you get, guys. You know what I mean? Not only the tissue work, but the mobility. He's definitely teaching me the importance of. What do you say? How mobility drives motor patterns?
Yeah, 100%, man. That's good. It took me 3 years of grad school to get that. You got it in one day. Mobility drives motor control. So,
Motor control, yes, sir.
So I'm interested in supplementing your training by like improving muscle balance, and if something's inhibited, then you can't activate as well. So we could do a lot of work to try to improve physique and try to just get blood volume and pump and all that good stuff for the stage. But how best can we improve
performance.
the way you fire and load these tissues in the gym? And now, bang, impingement before.
Nothing.
Now, you may feel it end range, but I can get you.
Yeah.
We're on the pillow.
Yeah, and I'm
Now
like,
you're not
both
wincing,
hands up
you know
too,
what I mean?
and I'm like, I don't like barely feel
Yeah.
it up. But that's crazy. It's like you didn't even really work up here.
That's what I'm saying. more of the symptom, this tissue restriction being the cause, and you're getting downstream issues from this.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? So we don't touch that, but you know, it cleans that up. You don't feel it's gone, that kind of deal.
That is wild.
Yeah. Let's go here. Just like subtle. We got more girth, kind of erector. Is this supplemented by the lat some, but if anything, just a little smaller atrophy on this left side. You know, we want kind of more bulk through here. So is that because of some shoulder impingement in the left shoulder and kind of some of those effects or not? So you see, as that shoulder cleans up and we really focus on that left spinal extension and shoulder extension.
I do feel sometimes I have issues with, what do you call it, like arching my back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I used to have a really good arch, you know, but now I feel like sometimes I have an issue doing that with extension. When I was younger, I had a lot more mobility, you know, through that mid-back area.
And it's common, I mean, it's common, so like, if you're trying to isolate a muscle in your lift, you know what I mean? If you're working shoulders, you're working biceps or something, and you're in a standing posture or laying down on a bench or something, your pressing work, that's why you see some of the biggest, best lifters and athletes, they aren't focused on firing all these deep stabilizing muscles of their abdomen, their flexors. You'll see them get into like a big arch, lock down as much of that spine as possible, and then create a big brace through their abdomen to push from. But you'll see that spinal extension is super common because it gives you a stable base to push from. You know, if you're trying to build your shoulders, you're not going to spend time keeping your low back in a fixed neutral position. So it's common.
I'll be a whole new athlete by next year.
Man.
Tell me, it's over for these. You recording? Yeah. It's over for y'all. I done found the secret. Get the tissue work done. No, I'm just kidding. And what I love about this is that, like, you know, a lot of people, if you go to a lot of like people who do like tissue work, they just beat you up for the sake of beating you up and send you on your way. But what I found here in the past few times working with Mark is that, you know, it's more finesse, you know, and a little bit more direct, you know, to the results, and that it doesn't always take, you know, getting beat up. Well, I'm pretty sure if you look at him, he could beat me up pretty good.
That's a good point, man. When I was a young therapist, look, all I ever had were just like a meathead a little bit, and so the only tool I felt like I had to was just to like kill the tissue. You know what I mean? And the longer I treat, the better I get. It's actually more nuanced. So it's less pressure. You know what I mean? It's finding the right spots. But yeah, when I was young, I was just like, oh, everything's just deep tissue. Find it, kill it, murder it. You know, it's in there somewhere. It's gonna make somebody better. You know, it's like,
right.
It's really comprehensive. Like this can't be anything. You could get deep tissue every day, right? But it's got to be. Does it complement? You know, what are you doing nutritionally? What are you doing in the gym? How do you move? What's your nervous system like? What are your expectations for training? You know, so this is just one little piece of the pie, but.
All right, guys, so just got worked on here, again, by Mark from Motive. So we worked on my upper body today, did my back, my shoulders, some cupping, some tissue work. Again, if you could go through the video, you'll see Mark's explanations of why he did what he did and the importance of it. So I want to thank Mark again for having me in. And guys, I want to reiterate the importance of keeping your mobility, getting the tissue work, as we are athletes, even though we are bodybuilders. So find yourself someone like Mark who can help you achieve your goals and your physique. So thanks again, Mark.
Yeah, man. Glad to be part of your journey, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
Thanks,